I adore punctuation. I'm now going to read an 8-part poem called The Wee Hours of the Morning. As I read, I'm going to sequentially identify every punctuation mark I come across and let you see what I'm doing. I wrote this poem in April 2000 while I was still living in a cold water flat on Staten Island. I revised the poem twice, in June 2020 and just this morning. I think my latest revision crucially clarifies the next to last verse of the poem. You'll see the revised 7th verse when I get to it. In that verse, the phrase, "the poet laureate of bad sex," appears in quotes. That's because I used it in an earlier poem. The Wee Hours of the Morning, Part 1. Tonight, M-, last night already, M-, was the most productive night in the history of my poetry, period. Part 2. Will they someday say of me, open quote, his was the most remarkable explosion in the history of poetry, period, close quote. Who needs to wait for posterity to say it, question mark. I'm saying it already, period. Part 3. My poetry presupposes a mind continuously at war with a body, period. A permanent suspension of hostilities would be fatal to my poetry, period. Part 4. Between the smell of my farts and my need to pee, and the poetry being dictated to me practically non-stop, how am I to get any sleep, question mark. Part 5. Returning to bed, I crawl under my down comforter and pull it over my head, forgetting I let it get cold by breaking contact with it for a few minutes, period. What was I doing anywhere but under my down comforter in the wee hours of the morning, question mark, braving the chill of my bedroom to jot down the foregoing verses at my desk, period. Part 6. Just when I wake up feeling I will never write another poem, a mini-epic ambushes me in the dark, period. Part 7. Not content to be, open quote, the poet laureate of bad sex, close quote, I am fast becoming the master of the semicolon, having long since mastered the semicolon. These nights, more often than not, I start masturbating but fall asleep before I come, which in my book, does not even qualify as bad sex, period. Part 8. What a relief to have been able to fall asleep again, not after having come, but after having written an 8-part poem, exclamation mark.